Welcome, fans and subscribers, to episode 5 of Last Week in Gaming. I am your host, Joe, and with me is special guest for the first time, Jay, and returning special guest, Kumar. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, how are you?
I am awesome.
Gooey Bear, how's it going, brother?
Good. Spent all my money in Vegas last week.
Oh, you
I
did.
bet you did.
Glad you made it back. We have an exciting show planned tonight. We have updates from last week's GFN Thursday. We have some gameplay from Redfall. We're going to talk about what happened with updates in Destiny last week, Guardian Games, and this picture Bungie has released of Shadow of the Deep. We're going to show what PlayStation Blog released of Chrono Odyssey. There were some updates to Hogwarts Legacy last week. We have a special guest segment. First time guest on the show, Jay, is going to walk us through Throne and Liberty and what we can look forward to in that MMORPG. And then we will also cover the updates upcoming, actually starting tomorrow, with Saints Row. Let's talk about Redfall. This game released May 2nd, and reviews were underwhelming for this. They were not positive. This game, developed by Arcane Studios, they developed Deathloop, Prey, Dishonored series. It's available on Xbox Series X and S, Xbox Cloud Gaming, and Microsoft Windows for PC. Well, what's the plot? It takes place in a fictional town of Massachusetts, Redfall, Massachusetts. Vampire hunters return to the town and liberate the local fire station, turning it into their headquarters and a safe haven for survivors. And that's one of the players that you get to choose from of the 4 to play. And as you can see here in the gameplay, I'm playing as Dev. And they begin venturing into the town, like myself, Dev, to kill vampires and fight human cultists who worship them. And try to discover, in the game, you play the game to try to discover the source of vampirism that takes place. And how did these vampires come about? Well, apparently was a failed scientific experiment. And a legion of vampires invaded the isolated town from the outside world. I think it's some sort of void in the time continuum. Kumar, we have covered Redfall since episode 1, when we saw some gameplay on it that was shown with people fighting in a house, one of the vampires in the house. Looking at the gameplay so far, Kumar, what are your thoughts? Is it what you expected?
No, I don't think it's like a fully polished game.
Okay. And I will have to agree with that because there is some meaning. I encountered bugs when playing it. So, for example, I would press buttons with controller and keyboard and reset both of them actually to try to figure this out. And sometimes there was just no response. Nothing would happen, even in the menu, which was very frustrating. Frame rate drops as well. So with that, yeah, I'm inclined to believe there could have been some additional polishing that was done. Jay, how do you feel about vampires in Massachusetts, of all places?
If they're going to be somewhere, might as well be in Massachusetts. But I'm glad that I didn't buy this game. I'm glad I kind of waited, watched for the reviews and everything else. I'm like Kumar. Well, Kumar had told me his first thoughts. I went on Reddit. I looked it up. This game has had pretty poor reviews. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a handful that do like it. I mean, it's still a good game. But from what it's supposed to be to what it is, it needs a lot of work.
Yeah, the reviews have voiced that it's not meeting the expectations of a Arcane Studios game. I will say, in looking at some information myself that has been in the media and articles, it looks like Arcane, they went out of their comfort zone with this one. They wanted to have a cooperative experience. You can actually have up to, I believe it's 4 players to game with you in this, which would make sense by the 4 total characters that you can choose from and select and level up and play the game. And Phil Spencer, he went on an interview with Kind of Funny last week, and there were some highlights from that. People may have seen that, but he had voiced that he wished he had been more involved. Xbox had been more involved in the process, and they were left alone, at least in the beginning, to develop this, and they were working on this for some time. And so we are given the impression that if Xbox had engaged more in the game's development, this may not have been the disappointment that he claims and fans have claimed that it has been. And information for that, we have those in the sources of the description on the video if anyone's interested in diving deep into that.
See, I don't know if that's true or not. You know, they say that if Xbox or Microsoft is more involved with this game, that it would be better, right? Well, we all know from Halo that even when Microsoft gets their hands into things and they push harder, they don't do very well. You know, they're not listening to what the gamers actually want to play. You know, I'm sure that they probably thought that, hey, maybe if we step back and we let Arcane do their thing for this game, maybe it'll be better. But yeah, didn't work out for them.
That's an interesting point. Yeah,
I think one of the last articles I read is that, you know, basically Xbox came out and again, this is a no-name article, but they came out and kind of seceded to PlayStation, said that, you know, look, we're losing. You know, we can't keep up with their studios and, you know, their games. They're selling more everything.
We actually covered that in one of our daily gaming updates on the channel, and he said that they are third and they're behind PlayStation. I think he said
who's the second?
It's I think he basically, the impression was it was Nintendo, then PlayStation, and then Xbox. I think I have that right. We have covered it in the daily gaming updates. I'd have to go back and look, but he did admit that it's hard to beat Xbox, but he actually put some blame in that interview on PlayStation in the deals that they are trying to make, that it makes it hard to be Xbox. That was the terminology that he used.
See,
as well.
But the Xbox has done the same thing. They buy up as many studios as they possibly can as well. I mean, It's just that, guess what? They bought the wrong ones. When PlayStation, they bought the right ones. I mean, Halo could have been an amazing series all the way through. 343 could have done better with that game. They said they were bringing it back to what it used to be, and it's nowhere near. It's nothing like it. Their so-called open world is terrible. I mean, a game like Destiny, you know, that's way more open world, if you ask me, versus what they've made Halo.
Kumar, thoughts on that? Is it over? Does Xbox need to get their act together?
No,
Still
they
Spencer
still
in
got
trouble.
a few cats in the bag with, I think, Bethesda, Starfield down the road. I think they may have stuff down the road.
Bethesda's had their share of screw-ups, too. I mean,
and we're going to talk more about that with Starfield in one of our segments.
This is coming from an avid Xbox guy. I do not own a PlayStation. I have an Xbox in every single room, either an Xbox or a PC. And even, again, being as an Xbox guy, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, come on. You guys can't produce a good title. I was so amped for Halo and different things like that, and it's just, you play it and you're like, there's no way this is it. Come on, there's no way.
Absolutely, and definitely save those thoughts for our segment on the Xbox Game Showcase that is going to be in June. We're going to cover that as well as the Starfield Direct. Let's talk about Game Pass and how Game Pass is doing and the pressure for that. Final comments for the Redfall gameplay. We've had some good commentary here. I mentioned that I'm playing it as Dev Devender Dev Cruisley. He uses the Arc Javelin, the Translocate, and the Blacklight as abilities. I'll be honest with you, I have not been using the Translocate much. I am not dismissing it as a feature, but I'm interested in others that are playing as Dev. Are you using the Translocate? And the Translocate is you throw it and you can immediately transport to where you throw the Translocate item. The Arc Javelin you've seen in the gameplay, I'm using that avidly. I love that. You galvanize enemies that are in proximity to it, And the blacklight is awesome, how you just mount it in the ground, and then you freeze, in a sense. They're galvanized, but you freeze the vampires near you, and you can take them out. It's all fun and good. Yeah, the game hasn't been reviewed well, but with the bugs fixed, it's fun. It's a lightweight game where you hunt some vampires, stake them out, literally, figuratively, and the weapons are fun. So you're seeing this shotgun right here that I'm using. Yeah, I say pick it up on Game Pass. Try it. Yeah, you're going to be capped right now, at least, with the 30 frames because there isn't a performance mode. But try it out. See what you think, and maybe put it down and wait until you can achieve 60 frames or higher with the performance mode.
Is it Game Pass for PC or Xbox or just?
Good question. This I'm playing. I downloaded it from the PC application for Xbox Game Pass, so the PC Game Pass, and
I'll give it a try.
Is this free right now on Xbox Game Pass?
If you have Xbox Game Pass, it is the ultimate. I at least have the ultimate. Then you have the option. It's complimentary to the subscription that you can download this. Yeah. And I was getting frame rate drops, but I was not capped at 30, I will say. I was using the NVIDIA experience overlay with this, and so I was close to 60. And this is an NVIDIA 3080 Ti with a Ryzen 9 5950 AMD CPU. No overclocking. Yep, well, that's our update for Redfall. Let's jump into the Guardian games. And the Guardian games
game that I love to hate.
2023 Guardian Games runs to May 23rd. And we've covered this in our daily gaming updates. But I had fun with this one because I thought it was hilarious. And you see it in the center of the screen that after the reset, or at the reset, there was an announcement as when you log in that says the Warlocks have won. And as a Warlock myself, I've been a Warlock since the beginning of Destiny 2. I was a Titan in Destiny 1, but I switched teams, went Warlock, and so when I heard about this and saw this, I went, all right, we won. We don't have to play, but we actually do. And the truth is the Titans have been winning this past week, but we will see if there is a change in that. So what are the Guardian games? For those that don't know, players compete in a series of class-based activities to determine which class is the best. Players participating in Guardian games should focus on either hitting a score threshold by achieving strike scores through the Guardian Games playlist, we're familiar with that, or by banking medallions at the tower podium. Medallions, how do you get those? By completing contender or platinum cards, which can be purchased with Glimmer at the tower from Eva. You can also do this with ritual activities with your class item equipped. And as I said, the games continue to May 23rd. So that's an approximate 3 weeks there that we get to play these Guardian games. More about the Guardian games. There is a new weapon that you want to know about. The Taraxipos. I hope I'm not butchering that. You can let me know in the comments. It is a strand scout rifle. So if you're looking for those strand weapons, definitely take a look at this one. It is up for grabs. How do you feel about the Guardian games, guys?
They got Warlock and Fairy Power and freaking Monkey Titans.
Hey, the Warlock has the Fairy Power. You've needed that Fairy Power.
No. We have been amazed sometimes at what your Fairy Power can do floating across every jump, but tell me, who's Master Jumper?
Oh, yeah. You were cold.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you were cold.
Well, I mean, and we're Hunter mains.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I feel like the Hunters they don't have
they've
trouble.
Been underrated like crazy. Well, and that we've gotten the worst deal out of even this new update. Our super, Strain was supposed to be, from what I remember reading it back whenever Strain was being created, it was going to be this Master Race Hunter Super. You know
You
what I
are
mean?
exactly right. It was initially
Hunter was
designed
gonna
for the
get
hunters.
It was going to be, great. And then they started stripping us down again, just like they always do, and giving some of the best stuff away to the hunters and the titans because they felt sorry for them. I mean, really, Golden Gun's not bad. Obviously, it's got its perks, especially in PvP. But I mean, the best for any kind of PvE, the hunters we have are with the bow, we have our quiver. That is the best thing we have. Where hunters and warlocks and titans, you guys have everything, and then you guys win everything, and you wonder why.
Remember Stasis and Crucible? That changed the game.
Okay, yeah.
With the Warlock, I'm saying, yeah, you were ripping on me about that. Oh, now Joe can play Crucible with Stasis.
Yeah,
that's my crutch to get through it. Yeah, until there were changes, made.
Exactly. We had something that was kind of OP for a little while, and then they realized, oh, hey, this is way overpowered. We can't have that. Well, and hunters had an exotic too that would, upon dodge, it would allow us to immediately start regen, right? And then they said, oh, whoa, hunters can't have that. They're way overpowered with that. And then what do? The very next exotic they put out, they give the Titans a helmet that when they shoot a target and it shoots back at them, they instantly get an overshield. Really? That's not overpowered, and it still
Share
works
the love.
with the one-eyed mask. Come on.
Share the love. Well, that's since we're talking about who gets what, let me talk about these new aspects for Strand that you can get right now. So there are 3 new aspects for the Strand Super. The Threaded Spectre for the Hunters, the Flechetti Storm for the Titans, and the Wanderer for the Warlock. Here's what the Hunters can do with their new aspect. They can leave behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants. Titans, with the new aspect, can activate a charged melee ability, no surprises there, while sliding, also no surprises there. The melee causing the player, this is awesome, to leap into the air, launches a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Warlocks, with the new aspect, can detonate a suspending burst onto enemies, while final blows create a tangle effect. That Titan aspect sounds really good. What are your thoughts on that, Kumar?
You know why? Because it's a Titan. That's why.
It's a Titan. Yeah.
No, my curiosity is with the Hunter, this decoy. I'm wondering if it's just going to be your average red bar ad, or if it's going to be able to attract, yellow bars, your majors, and everything else, or if it's going to who all is it going to distract, or is it just going to be, you do that in front of a boss and they're just going to smack you in the face.
Mm-hmm. Right. Kumar, thoughts on this? What aspect do you want and why?
Well, I want to try the Warlock out.
Yeah, so. I had a feeling you'd say that. You like your Warlock more than the other two.
And it's funny.
Warlock didn't Titans.
Well, you tried the new Titan.
This argument goes on.
Yeah. Oh, it will.
Off screen, because this is our fire team, part of it anyway.
Yeah.
And this is an ongoing argument.
We're missing our lone wolf.
Yeah, I know.
Probably playing right now. Yeah.
He probably is playing right now, and and I feel. My brother Days, like I said, he's our god tier. Gets us through anything that we're starting to struggle through, and I feel bad for anybody who's run into him in the Crucible, because whether you're a streamer or not, he may not be the greatest, but I'm sure he's knocked people down a peg.
Yeah, a quick update for the channel. We are working on a contract with him. We're trying to get the money right for him to come on to the show. Probably will have to sell some items, maybe rent out part of my house. But hey, we're working on it to get him on to talk about Destiny, maybe in another show. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Well, that's our update for Guardian Games 2023. Hopefully everyone is having fun and enjoying the games. With our next update, this picture. What is it? Destiny 2, Season of the Deep. We covered this daily gaming update for the 4th and the 5th. And the new season releases, gentlemen, May 23rd of this year. And feel free to jump in here, guys. It looks like this is going to tighten. We see Sloane there, and she's looking through a glass, seeing Guardians, and that eye behind them, this is what's interesting, looks like a aquatic creature, a Leviathan. But where does the Leviathan come from? Well, we have some sources here that say it's coming from Titan. And we actually have, and you can look in the description for this, there was a Reddit post where a player was able to jump off the main area of where you play in Titan and descend closest to the sea, and you actually see what looks like a tail of an aquatic creature. So it makes us think the tail of that aquatic creature, is that what we are seeing here? Jay, Kumar, thoughts on this? Are we going to
Makes
Titan?
sense. I mean, well, it would make sense. I mean, Titan, from every time we've ever been there, from Destiny 1, Destiny 2, it's a water world. Would make sense. Again, I'm. It's predictable if that's what it really is, but I mean, at least from this image, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be cool to see Sloane back again. It'd be cool to go back to Titan, but my only fear is okay, you're going to add Titan back. What are you taking away from us? That's been Destiny's MO. You know,
something goes in the vault. Maybe.
Exactly. You know, they just made this big giant deal with PlayStation and everything else. Okay, I understand you need to develop your game. That's great. But how about some better servers? Memory on your servers. You know, quit sunsetting things, quit taking things away to add new. You know, my problem with Destiny is, like I said, you know, when we started a segment, love to hate this game. I love this game. I've been playing from D1, from when it came out to now. But I would much rather have the entire assortment of things to do. I mean, and especially, like, you know, they're bringing back the old raids. That's great, but they're keeping some of the old raids for too long. I mean, they need to cycle them through a little bit faster, my opinion. Maybe some people are struggling and they're not getting through them as fast, and maybe they need that extra time to be able to get the fire team to complete them. But I mean, I like to have more variety, and I like to have more things to do. I also think that.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, for the drops, they made, and I don't know this for sure, but maybe in keeping these raids around for a longevity of time is for people to collect the weapons, the exclusive weapons, exotics, others, gear, for example.
No, and you're right.
You can get.
But honestly, sometimes that doesn't matter. So when my brother and I took you guys through the Vault of Glass, who got the daggone raid weapon?
Oh, that was Mr. Joe.
That was you too.
We talking about the Vex,
yes.
The Vex Mythic class.
I have completed that raid. I don't know how many times, and I still don't have the Vex in D2. It will not give it to me.
Hey, I'll tell you what, those enemies sweated a little bit more with me going after them, and I think Bungie noticed that and said he needs the Vex.
So.
We haven't seen our algorithm sweat so much.
Nobody was paying attention to the feed, and all of a sudden Joe's like, "Hey, what's this new gun I got? It's the Vex Mytho class." Yeah, I'm like, we're all sitting there like, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It was his first run."
I know.
You got it twice, Kumar.
I got an original.
Wait, hold on. How did you get it twice? What happened?
He got the drop twice.
Yeah, one on one character and another character.
Who was it? Was it Cole that said someone had a theory that the drops happen for players that do not play as intently as? Yeah. Was that you, Jay? You said
no. That was Days to spark that idea. And you know, the more and more we played and we did things with other casual gamers, you know, we found that as we carried people through things, they were getting the drops, like the exotic bows, the Vex, whatever else, you know, for the new dungeon, whatever it be. they were getting it, whereas, Dazed and I had hours and hours and hours on one specific dungeon, raid, whatever, and it took us forever to get it. Dazed finally did end up getting the Vex whenever the that raid was out, but he played it, 100 times more than even I did before he finally got the thing. It's a random drop, but it's a theory.
Yeah, let's look in the comments, see if anyone is onto this, agrees, or maybe someone can bring something to light in disagreeing. We're interested. We're trying to figure this out. Like scientists. It's all about the algorithm and how it works. But I know there's some hurt feelings about that Vex Mythoclast. There's one other comment I want to bring up about Season of the Deep. There was a quote from the Drifter referring to the long boy in the soup. Don't know if either of you remember that, but from the Season of the Arrivals is when the Drifter said that. There is speculation, although not confirmed, but there is some speculation that the long boy in the soup is actually this Leviathan creature. Thoughts on that? Have to find out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's actually a connection. I mean, if they're kind of going full circle with this, and if there's some kind of connection between, Callus's ship and this thing.
The other Leviathan, yeah, because people hear Leviathan, they think, okay, we're going back to see Callus.
If you're thinking Destiny, you hear the word Leviathan, you're thinking, we're going on another raid on the ship. Whereas if this is the Leviathan, we're going underwater. I mean, it does look like she's in some kind of submersible, or she's in the structure that is on Titan, and she's looking through a window and sees this thing. But I mean, obviously, the other 3 Guardians that are out there, they're swimming.
All right, here's a wild idea. I'm gonna branch. I'm gonna say this: the Leviathan somehow goes underwater on Titan, and Sloane somehow gets there, and she's on the Leviathan, looking through the glass at the Leviathan. Thoughts on that?
Well, we did just take out Callus. I mean, his ship is kind of adrift, so I mean,
kind of adrift, yeah, could sink.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just that's where it lands.
All right, write it down.
Think of it. Episode
5. We're calling it. We're going to see if it happens. I just thought of this on a whim. Honest. Just thought of it on a whim. I think it's too ridiculous to be an idea, honestly. But if Bungie does it, then I'm going to be in awe. I'm going to say, wow.
They owe you a cookie.
They owe me a hoodie is what they owe me. Yeah. And it should say on the back of it, he called it. Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, there's going to be a Gambit logo above it because I love Gambit so much. Yeah, Jay is.
No, you don't. Really? You really don't. Come on.
Love it. I can't get enough of it. All right. Let us know in the comments what you think. Destiny 2, Season of the Deep. We are as excited as you are.
That's a comment that I want to see. I want to see how many people actually still play Gambit and like it. Other than playing it just for the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Just for the pinnacle?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I play that game type. I freaking hate it. It was cool when it first came out, like the first 3 games, and then after that, it started to suck.
Remember Gambit Prime? Remember that? Where you had to go around. There were 2 modes. And you could pick between... I like the differentiation. It gave it a little bit of variety. Do I want to play this Gambit or that Gambit?
It's all Gambit.
It's all Gambit. Yeah, it's all Gambit. All has it.
And the Drifter is such a cool character. I mean, they could have given him so much better than Gambit.
He's my favorite. Nothing against Cade. I love Cade, but the Drifter, he's the person that I'm not. I think that's why. I mean, he says, "Let's be bad guys, enough fooling around." I mean, it's great. It's great commentary right there.
Mm-hmm.
Great scripting. All right, Season of the Deep. Let's move on to this game. An MMORPG, Chrono Odyssey, being designed in Unreal Engine 5, which it's taking pride that it's being developed in Unreal Engine 5, saying that it's going to distinguish, the developers say, and this is from a PlayStation blog we are drawing this from. URL is in the description. But the developers are saying that this is going to be a distinguishable MMORPG because of the Unreal Engine 5. And I will have to say, guys, it looks stunning. It does.
It does look really good.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at that sunset. I could fall in love again with that sunset.
I thought about Elden Ring right there.
I don't know. Elden Ring's graphics don't touch this.
Don't start the debate mixing that with an MMORPG. Oh my gosh, we'll get our channels striped if we do that. Oh, don't muddy the waters there. Oh my gosh. So this game does not have a release date. However, the conclusion of the blog states that the developers can't wait to share its hard work soon. And the game will launch on PS5, which is an MMORPG on PS5. I'm going to have to think about that. I'm not saying it can't be done, but when I think of MMORPG, I want to go to PC. Jay, Kumar, what do you think on that?
Yeah, PC.
PC, obviously better. I mean, not impossible though.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
my segment, my segment that I had chose to talk about at the end of this with Throne and Liberty. Why I'm so interested in that game is because of Black Desert. Black Desert, I started playing on Xbox. So, I mean, doable.
Okay. Yeah. I will have to try that. I will have to try an MMORPG on console. And I will see what I think. So, what else about this game? Well, it takes place in Cetera. It's an open world wilderness that transforms its seasons. There is an emphasis on the seasons in the world. I'm interested to learn more about that. The updates from the blog, or rather the details from the blog, were focused on combat, time, and teamwork. Let's talk about combat for a moment. Attack, defense, dodge, and you can switch between multiple weapons. There are 6 distinct classes: the swordsman, the ranger, the sorcerer, the paladin, the berserker, or the assassin. And as is typical with MMORPGs, there's character customization options, including gender and appearance, which is detailed in the blog. Let's talk about time for a second. The Chronotector, the importance of Chrono in the title, hence the title there, the forces that drive the storyline, this Chronos it plays a pivotal role in combat and progression. You can manipulate, this is really cool, you can manipulate time and space. You can stop time, you can rewind time, and you can explore other timelines. I mean, that adds, Jay, Kumar, that adds some depth to this game. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge different dynamic.
Yeah, I want to check this game out.
And time is relative, so you stop time in the game. Can you go order a pizza and come back? How exactly is that going to work? Maybe you could stop time for a certain amount of time. But hey, if you could stop it for so much time, I mean, that is time to get a pizza going. Am I right? So this may be advantageous in an MMORPG to stop time right there. Get that pizza time in. Let's talk about teamwork. Well, as is custom with an MMORPG in the name, you can engage with other players to battle together, and you get to face quote-unquote colossal beasts. And one of those bosses is Eltanius. I believe I have that correct as far as how to pronounce it. One of the power bosses in the game world. Yeah. I want to try this out. Even though it's on PS5, nothing against PS5, but definitely try that out with the PS5 controller. And
is there a PC launch for this?
I haven't heard anything about a PC port, but there would be some players would be interested in a PC port. And we've seen PC ports with the other PlayStation games. Some of them haven't done well, and that's a whole other segment that we can go into, like The Last of Us. That was a disaster with I think it was the texture loading, but you had some odd and bizarre appearances in that. But I digress. Yeah, I would try a PC port for this. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Because it's an MMORPG. Now, what I'm thinking is, Sony, PlayStation, they're going to put their little spin on it with the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback, the 3D surround, and something else with the controller. I love that they do that. I have a PlayStation 5. I love that. Absolutely love that. It makes you feel the game instead of just play the game. But PC port, yeah. Kumar, thoughts? Is it awesome?
I'm excited. I want to try this one.
I think so too.
That's all I got for it.
All right. That is our update for Chrono Odyssey. Let's talk about GFN Thursday, GeForce Now Thursday. Every Thursday, NVIDIA announces new games to play in its cloud service. The two worth mentioning, or the two that you can play as of last Thursday in the cloud, are Age of Wonders 4 and Showgunners. But in this update, interestingly, there are other games that are going to release to play in the cloud. And there's a list of these. We have the original source in the description. But some that I want to call out that are approaching and coming out. The Outlast Trials releases May 18th. You're going to be able to play that. Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. We have some coverage on that in our previous episodes. That comes out May 23rd. You can play that in the cloud. The Lord of the Rings Gollum releases May 25th. You can play that in the cloud as well. System Shock, May 30th. That's another title. And The Ascent, you will be able to play in the cloud. And that is our GFN Thursday update. Let's talk about the Xbox Showcase. This is where we were talking about Redfall, and we were transitioning into this conversation. Let me get us started off. When is the Xbox Showcase? We have the what we have seen that Xbox has given us, and there's going to be a showcase, an extended showcase. The initial showcase is set for Sunday, June 11th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The extended showcase is set for Tuesday, June 13th, and those are at the same respective times there, the 10 a.m. and the 1 p.m. for that extended showcase on the 13th. But what is getting people's attention is the Starfield Direct. And there isn't a definitive time as to when it's going to be, the specific time. We just know it's going to follow the showcase. And I've been curious myself on this. There is one source that we found, you can find this in the description, that speculates, not confirming, but speculates that the Starfield Direct, in case you want to just tune in for Starfield and not the Xbox Showcase, is going to be at, and this is the Starfield Direct Showcase, by speculation, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The source for this is from a tweet from Walking Cat, Twitter handle Walking Cat. Let's talk about the pressure, to what extent there is a pressure on Xbox to release a title that will keep customers motivated to have Game Pass, be proud of Game Pass. Jay, Kumar, what else do we need to know?
They have to be feeling some pressure.
Yeah.
Again, you look at their sales and everything else, PlayStation, Sony's killing them. Well, maybe not killing them, but they're losing.
Look at the interview we talked about with Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
He even admits that it's hard to be Xbox because of decisions PlayStation is making. Well,
again, like we decided, or we said about before, yes, PlayStation's made their decisions, but Xbox has made theirs. Yeah. Microsoft is, also done the same thing. They've bought up as many, little guys as they possibly can. They've, again, this is coming from way back. They screwed Bungie hard. If Bungie would still be in control of Halo, we may not have Destiny, but Halo would probably still be an amazing game, and it really would have evolved it.
It's being contracted out now. 343 Studios, they are contracting. Yeah, they're contracting that out because it was a complete mess with Infinite. It actually was 12 times larger than the game actually is, and they took random segments and they put it together like a unfitting jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, and they messed it up.
Hence the zones in the Anyways.
Yeah, so Xbox hasn't any of Xbox studios hasn't come out with anything that gets their audience really playing. They're not listening to the people that are playing these games, what they actually want. 343 is a big studio. They should be able to. They should have never messed up Infinite the way they did. But again, I there's not a whole lot of people out there that I could, at least that I know, that would say that they've been doing well.
So do you think Starfield is going to follow that suit? It is an ambitious game. Kumar, you remember we covered it. Skyrim in space. I think it's over 1,000 planets. Did he say at a showcase? Maybe it was last year's showcase. But help me out, Kumar. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a great game.
I hope so.
No, I hope it's not like what was that disappointing game?
Fallout.
No Man's Sky.
Oh,
that still has a fan base. They still. So yeah, go ahead.
No. Say every game has a fan base, whether it's terrible or not. I mean, there are still people that different opinions, right? But I mean, Bethesda's, other than Doom, they've had some major issues themselves too. I mean, I've been optimistic on a lot of different games because of the last couple of games that I've really been hyped up for and spending a bunch of money on. I'm not getting what I want, but we'll see with this one.
And we talked about, too, in a previous episode, Kumar, being an Xbox Game Pass customer. Are you satisfied in being a customer? Are playing the old games enough? Is it a matter of needing to look forward to new titles to continue being a devoted customer? I think there's pressure, and we've talked about there's pressure. Starfield needs to be good. What do you think?
I think there's pressure.
Jay's nodding.
It needs to be good.
It needs to be good.
Yeah, Kumar will talk me into daggone getting Game Pass.
He talked me into getting Game Pass.
Yeah.
I'm still on it, Kumar. I want my money back, Kumar.
I still see that charge coming out of my credit card every daggone month, and I keep on thinking I should probably just cancel that. But I just forget about it, and it still comes out every month. I got to pay my credit card. Damn it!
No, you're fine. You're fine.
There's some old games on there that are really fun.
Yeah, there are.
Sometimes.
Like Prey as well.
The amount that I've actually used Game Pass versus what I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox is making a fortune off of me.
Yeah, I'm making a fortune off of everybody. And hopefully it goes into making this awesome game, Starfield, and
June 11th.
So let's talk about Starfield for a little bit. It's set to release September 6th, 2023, as it stands now for episode 5 of the show. It's going to be on Xbox Game Pass at launch. It's a day one edition. It's going to release for Series X and S and Microsoft Windows on PC, likely through the app too, the PC Game Pass app, but others like Steam, for example, to be able to get it on Steam. But taking advantage of it as a day one Game Pass game, and hopefully there isn't some capped frame rate that we saw with Redfall and a performance mode being promised later. I hope that is not the case for this. I would love for it to be able to be played in the cloud service as well. That would be really awesome. And I'm wondering if that could be done, or if it's going to be announced later for that. What else, gentlemen? Starfield Direct. Is it going to be at 3 p.m. following? You think it's going to take that long?
I'm trying to think of what this game really reminds me of.
Well, it has some hints of Fallout as well. I would say more
I see
Fallout
that.
4 than 76. Have that. Yeah, I think that energy is there, and it's considered Skyrim in space. What do you think, Kumar? Is it Skyrim? Do you feel Skyrim in looking at this?
I don't know. Have you tried out Skyrim yet?
You know, I'm in between so many unfinished games, Kumar.
You are the only person I've ever met that can do one game one week, another game the next week, game after that the
I
next
don't
week,
know.
and then circle back around. I
don't know
that.
how I do it. Yeah, I don't know how I do it. I love playing games. I try as many as I can and try to keep up with all of them, and I do my best. I really do. All right, well, Kumar, so you think there's some Skyrim in this?
It looks like it.
Looks
Skyrim.
like it. All right. Well, that is our update for the Xbox Showcase and Starfield Direct. Let's transition. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Let's talk about Warzone 2.0 and Modern Warfare 2. Season 3 is approaching. Releases on May 10th. What do fans get in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone? The new Alberon Hatchery Core multiplayer. This is a 6v6 mode. And Episode 3 of the raid will release. There's a new Special Ops mission for Defender Hafid Port, and a new DMZ Exclusion Zone underground in Al Mazrah that will release as well. There's an update that introduces Warzone ranked play that entails progressing, ranking, a competitive settings, visual skill system, and seasonal rewards. This is really cool. If you go into the store, you can go and find a store bundle for all-time Kevin Durant. He arrives in a special limited time store bundle that's releasing mid-season. And he plays for the Phoenix Suns as of 2022. He's plays number 35. He's a power forward as far as his position. And he started playing in 2008, or at least he goes back, according to ESPN, to play in 2008 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's also 2 new weapons, the F-TAC Siege and the GS Magna, that is coming out in Season 3. Gentlemen, I don't think you've spent much time in Modern Warfare. What are your thoughts, though? Any that come to mind?
I mean, I've spent some time in it especially when it first launched and everything else. I mean, you and I played a lot with Kumar and my brother Dazed, and they said we played a lot.
Yeah, with Cold War, zombies.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, we played a heck of a lot. We went backwards. I mean, that's the thing about. That's my thing with these, Call of Duty games. Is it seems like the more they go forward, the more I want to go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite would be Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
And even the one afterwards, Infinite War, it was actually pretty good too. I miss the movement, the run and gun, wall running abilities, just getting one from one end of the map to the other end of the map as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. These newer versions, it feels slower, sluggish. The weapons are cool, gameplay is cool, but it feels like there's too many people sitting around a corner waiting for you.
A corner camping. Well, that's common across these multiplayer games. I mean, I play my share at Battlefield 2042, and there's corner campers everywhere. Right.
Yeah, but when in Black Ops 3 and Infinite War, you had the ability, you wall run, different things like that. You can juke them and get up behind them still. Whereas now...
No, go ahead. Maybe.
No, whereas now it just seems like you just don't have as much ability to get around that.
Well, if everything could just be like Respawn's Titanfall, where we can run off walls, then...
Oh, dude, don't get me on Titanfall.
Oh, what?
Me too. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand Apex Legends, and Dazed and I, we've played a lot of Apex Legends, but I mean, I'm so disappointed that that's what their focus is on, and they're not going to create a new Titanfall.
Yeah, and there was some news attention about that too, where it's just not the right time, according to Respawn there. So Kumar, wall running in Call of Duty, thoughts on this?
To be honest, I haven't played much Call of Duty, so just a little bit I played with you guys.
Would you play it more with wall running?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. There we go. We solved it.
Yeah. The more movement you can have, the better a game like a shooter game is.
So Call of Duty is going to introduce wall running. We're going to call it right here. And it's going to be Titanfall mode, right? That's how it's going to happen. Then the fan base is going to go absolutely wild. Call of Duty Season 3, everybody.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3 remastered.
Remastered. we will have to see what happens. Next update, Hogwarts Legacy. 2 major updates for Hogwarts Legacy. Let's start with the first one. It's available on last-gen consoles. That's great, but how well does the game perform on last-gen consoles? Well, we understand the game plays between 40 and 50 frames per second on the PS4, according to one report, and an all-around 40 frames per second on the Xbox One. Now, according to this same report, you can look in the description for this source, it's recommended to play the game at a capped 30 frames per second on both platforms for the best experience. And there is something that gamers might want to know. There seems to be a 50-second loading time when entering and leaving the Hogwarts castle. So doing that enough times, that could come off nettlesome. But not to dismiss that overall, people are satisfied with this playing on last gen. And as a fan of Hogwarts Legacy, I'm playing it on PS5 myself, but happy that more people that have the last gen console particularly can play this game and experience the awe and wonder that it is. Jay Kumar, how do you feel about the Wizarding World?
This game is so far out of my wheelhouse, I have no idea.
No idea.
No comment.
No
Yeah,
comment.
it's. I mean, it looks. It's a beautiful looking game, but I mean, it's not something that I would ever get into. I mean, I don't. I had to force myself to watch Harry Potter, dude. I mean, the first one or two. Yeah, I can't get into it.
And this takes place before the movies, 100 years approximately.
That's probably going to make it worse for me.
Probably.
So, no, I'm out.
Well, let me continue with the next update, and this is a new patch that released, and it's a large one. There's quite a bit to cover. We won't cover all of it. Let me just at least hit some of the highlights. The big one you want to know about is Arachnophobia mode, and you two will probably find this a bit comedic, but players can choose to enable this one. What does it do? Well, hence the term Arachnophobia. It changes all enemy spiders' appearances. It reduces and removes spider skitters and screeches. It removes small spider ground effect spawners. It makes static spider corpses in the world invisible. Collision is still active to prevent players from getting stuck when toggling this setting, though that is something to know. And that the spider images in the field guide do remain unchanged. But there is a degree of effort taken to make your fear of spiders, arachnophobia, less scary. So if you have any degree of arachnophobia, consider this game mode. Outside of arachnophobia mode, within the update, there is now Professor Ronan-themed cosmetic gear. However, this is acquired through Twitch drops for those that are interested. The patch comes with additional fixes, fixing an issues, for example, where players would actually fall out of the world. I never had that happen to me. I never fell out of the world. Wonder what that feels like. And there are 500 additional fixes to the game. As far as performance, resolve multiple potential crashes, performance fixes, and optimizations. This game, for those that are interested, haven't yet played it, have thought about playing it. It released on February 7th of this year. It was developed by Avalanche Software. And it is available on PS5, PS4 now, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One now, Microsoft Windows, PC, and will be available for Switch on July 25th. And that is our updates for Hogwarts Legacy. Moving now to... Say it again.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
So 90% of games are zombies, monsters, aliens, something bad. I want to meet the guy who said, you know what? We should have an arachnophobia mode. I mean, what? Really? That's worse than... never mind. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to say something dumb.
It's real. And whenever I hear the word, I think of the movie Arachnophobia with Jeff Daniels in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And John Goodman.
John Goodman, that's a good... Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But it just... Really?
Yeah.
Eight-legged freaks.
Eight-legged freaks.
Remember that one?
We were just talking about the Hogwarts Legacy update, and so we were extending some commentary from that into our Saints Row update. For those watching that want to know more about Saints Row, this is a game that was developed and published by Deep Silver, released June 9th, 2022 on PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft Windows PC, and interestingly, Google Stadia. Did release for Google Stadia. So, what are we looking at? The Sunshine Springs update. We covered this in our May 3rd.
Hey, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Stadia is still a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it went under.
It's going to be retired, or it has been retired. I will need to confirm on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought because I was one of the fathers of it, or whatever they call it. I bought the father package and everything else. Yeah, and founding father, or whatever they call it, founders edition. And I actually got one of the emails here saying, "Here, we'll refund your money since our service basically sucked."
Yeah, I don't know why it was set to release on Stadia. That's interesting. We'll look in the comments. Maybe someone can answer that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Sunshine Springs. It is a map expansion. Takes place, as you can see here, at a sprawling resort area, an oasis in the dried landscape of the Rojas Desert along Route 22 in the southeast of Santo Leso. Looks pretty. What do you guys think?
Nice graphics.
Yeah. This update releases May 9th. It has much to provide for fans. And this is going to launch alongside the Heist and the Hazardous update. And that releases on Tuesday, May 9th. So, the Heist and the Hazardous update and the Sunshine Springs, Tuesday, May 9th. A day to jump in or jump back. Kumar, I'm talking to you. Into Saints Row. So, the first of the 3 promised content drops, that's what this is for the Open World Crime Capers paid expansion pass, bringing new story missions, events, cosmetics, and more. Some highlights from the update. There's quite a bit here. There's added better logic to enemies for their movement, re-enable the depth of field, blur, and fine aim, added friendly fire, weapon store functionality to the weapon stash in the HQ and apartment. There's an emote wheel. You guys like the emotes? Do you use that? I know in Destiny we have emotes are fun. Well, the game will offer up to 8 emote choices on the fly. Added a new ability to steer certain emotes while slowly moving. Some can even be mixed with others. That's going to be interesting. So you're going to be able to do quite a bit with the emote wheel.
Yeah, as long as they let me into the back door.
It was going to happen sometime, right, Jay?
Yeah.
The joke was going to happen. Added shuffle buttons to radio stations while the playlist app is within the playlist app, as well as the custom station as well. There's so much here. There are mission updates, like for Fast and the Foodiest, art appreciation, and fixes for Criminal Ventures, for Castle Kraken, Shady Oaks, Let's Pretend, Cax Radio. There are many fixes for certain challenges. We're leaving the source for this in the description. Take a look at it, but this is a significant update. Moving next to our guest segment on Throne and Liberty. This is a next-generation AAA MMORPG considered a play for all, going to release second half of 2023. We don't have a defined date as of yet, but it's a highly anticipated title. Living world, includes dungeon features, and the weather conditions are a factor. They are something to distinguish in the game, and the surrounding environment is, so you're going to be engulfed in an awesome world, weather and surrounding environment. There's an immersive narrative where past, present, and future are connected that play on time. I'm really liking this with the MMO RPGs. There's a free class system. Player roles are decided by choices. I love those games where choices impact the way that your character developments. There is PvP, allowing players to decide whether they want to engage or not in, the way I understand it, is certain areas, and this may be similar. When I read about this, it made me think of the Plains of Hatred, in Diablo 4, these designated zones for PvP, but I'm not sure exactly if it's going to work the same. This takes place in a fantasy world. Players can traverse skies and explore depths of the sea, tipping ongoing battles and wars, fight and build out character in online MMO format. And there's also a beta that is going to happen here. The beta starts from May 24th to May 30th. And registration is opened via the official website from May 2nd to May 14th. The link is in the description if you are interested in this beta. Jay, let me turn it over to you.
I can't wait. I hope it is going to be everything I think it's going to be. I mean, I'm trying to hold my expectations to a certain level, but my brother and I, we're first-person shooter gamers, right? We had a buddy who's big into MMOs or RPGs, and he got us into Black Desert. And again, I started that on console, and that was my first real MMORPG, and I fell in love with it. I mean, it was probably one of my favorite games, like borderline getting a divorce. I mean, because I played on that game so much that my wife was probably thinking, "Oh my God, he's got to get off there sooner or later," right? The gameplay, the world, everything reminds me so much of Black Desert that I can't wait. It's just a new story, right? And it's also, NC is a South Korean company, just like Pearl Abyss was, who created Black Desert. So it looks like they really fed off each other. From what I understand, this was Lineage was the name of the games that they made beforehand. This is supposed to be the third that they never really actually created, and then they decided, okay, well, we're going to turn it into this. I can't wait. And the reason I brought this stuff up today was, within the last week, they did just come out with their meeting, and they had, they came out with the beta that's coming out towards the end of this month, and they gave I'm taking it with a grain of salt too. They said their October was going to be their launch date.
Okay.
Will it actually be the launch date? I don't know, but again,
it makes sense though.
It gets me excited.
Towards the end of the year, games releasing towards the end of the year. That's common.
This game has been in development for a long time, though. I think they've kind of given hints before that this game was going to launch here, and there, and it never did. And now they finally have tag teamed with Amazon to do their worldwide or their global launch. And really, not a huge fan of Amazon servers and stuff like that, but Amazon will get it launched if NC's ready for it.
Kumar, how do you feel about Amazon servers?
I love them.
Are they better than the Bungie ones?
Oh yeah.
Bungie is Amazon. Bungie does use Amazon, do they not? Or did they switch over? Did they switch over since they were pretty much bought out by PlayStation?
We'll have to look in the comments for that. I don't have those details here.
Yeah, I thought for sure that that Bungie they were using Amazon servers, but they just weren't paying enough for the service to. That's why, again, vaulting and sunsetting and everything else.
Very true.
So you think about a game like this. If you people that are watching your channel that know Black Desert, they know the amount of things that you can do, and the everyday life things that you can do in an MMORPG. That if Destiny would leave everything in like a game like this would, they could do a lot better.
So are we jumping into this or what? Are we signing up for this beta?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We're going to go and sign up for it.
Yep.
And experience this.
And it's some kind of lottery too. I mean, there's no guarantee, and South Korea is given preference to it. So I mean, that was the other article that I read. They're saying that there's going to be an open beta towards the end of this month, but they're not even sure how much of a global open beta this is going to be. Mm-hmm. Some of the people that I'm following that are actually really psyched about this game, they're traveling to South Korea just to get into the beta.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's. I don't know if any of us are going to get lucky enough to try it.
Well, will we be asked to fly out there? That's the other question.
Yeah, that'd be the other thing.
I'd be surprised. I'd say, Jay, this is all you. You somehow got us recruited to do this.
As long as your channel's paying for the plane ticket, I'm down.
We're still growing. We're still growing. I don't know about that. We'll get maybe in the cargo. Maybe we could get stored in the cargo.
I don't know, man. First person, first view of a brand new MMORPG might launch his channel.
Well, we definitely will get some gameplay on the channel for this, as we look to do for game releases. We try to tackle all of them, get a first impressions up and running. Special guest segment on Throne and Liberty. Absolutely want to entertainment. Another one that is to dive deeper into this game when it launches later. Hopefully.
I mean, is this just me, or is this something you guys see anything you like, or this is just I'm the one that likes it?
Oh no, it's stunning.
No, I like it a lot.
We are in this. I'm at least seeing a pattern, maybe for lack of a better word here. We just talked about Chrono Odyssey. We're talking about Throne and Liberty. Diablo 4, the server slam is this upcoming weekend, and that's going to release early release June 2nd, official release June 6th. So in the news, in the media, we're hearing about MMORPGs. Now, for those Diablo fans, I understand there is a division between is Diablo 4 an MMORPG. So let me not incite that. Let me just say, in games with characteristics of an MMORPG, we're seeing a theme. These are three of the major titles here.
Well, we need them too, because I mean, Black Desert really was the last great MMORPG that came out. And when did it launch? Like 2013 or 2014?
I don't have that.
It's been a hot minute. So I mean, there hasn't been a lot out there.
Yeah. So we may see it, and depending on Chrono Odyssey, if we will see that 2024 or 2025. If we get another state of play, maybe they will do the last one, Final Fantasy 16, which
I'm excited.
I'm confused. The last Final Fantasy game, we covered it, Kumar.
No.
I think it's 16. Final Fantasy 16.
It's the one coming out.
So there are at least 15 of them. Yeah, there are at least 15. Yeah, we covered that. We're going to cover that. We try to cover everything. That's what we're going for.
Gotta cover
you can let us know in the comments how we're doing on that. But that's
this video could have been a lot shorter if we wouldn't have been talking so much.
Well, that's why it's there. And we hope to have more, especially some gameplay too, on the channel, like we did for Redfall, other first impression game releases.
What you need to do is maybe you can't get Dazed on your channel, but maybe you can pay for his footage.
Hey, we're working on a contract. We're working on a contract. Have faith. I have some top negotiators working on this to try to get him on the channel. Yeah. All right, that is our guest segment for Throne and Liberty. Moving forward, we are going to conclude the show. That is what we have for episode 5 of Last Week in Gaming. Don't forget, you can catch the show not only on YouTube, but you can also catch it on podcast services, including Google Podcast. We are on Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Also, don't forget, you can catch daily gaming updates. So if you can't wait to hear what happened last week, you can hear what's happening during the week with the daily gaming updates. And those are podcasts, though they go on YouTube as well. So any final thoughts? Kumar, Jay.
I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16 next
Final
month.
Fantasy 16. We will cover it on the channel.
I kind of want to go play Destiny. You want to play Destiny?
I've been playing Destiny right now this whole time.
Get back into the Guardian games. Yeah.
When this is over, I'm gonna hop on.
Well, to conclude the show, let me leave you with the words of Commander Shepard from Mass Effect. I should go.